Hi, I'm Mary Pat Carlson, and I'm the University of Wisconsin Extension Small Scale Food Processing Specialist, and I'm visiting with Jeff Matoxen this morning at the Oneida Cannery, and I'm going to let Jeff introduce himself and tell you exactly where this cannery is located.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Matoxen. I'm the director for the Junhenko program. We are actually in the cannery at the Norbert Hill Center in Oneida, Wisconsin. It's part of the Oneida Tribe of Wisconsin's entity in itself. Junhenko has two components, agriculture and cannery. We're on N7210 Seminary Road. The Norbert Hill Center building that we're in actually houses part of our tribal administration building. We are actually part of the tribal high school. A number of other offices here, but the cannery's foundation is in its current location. So 1977-78 is what started this facility, and we've been growing and evolving ever since then.
And this is quite a cannery. We're standing in front of some very nice equipment here. We have steam kettles that they have installed. Where they have I don't know if you can pick it up in the background right now, but a very, very nice dehydrator. And how are these pieces used to serve your community needs here?
One of the things that our cannery's been really concentrating on, I think its foundation from 1978 to 79 was never lost and to be an educational role. So it is to process the food that the cannery was able to produce, that Junhenko was able to produce, but also that the community's been able to produce. So when they started, they had these smaller steam jacketed kettles that may have been 35 to 45 quart system, but we've grown to this larger commercial scale, and it's always been along the lines of production. It's like, how can we not just improve production or increase production, it's also what is it that our employees can do and what can we share with our community members so that it takes that next step level from those of you who process your food with your parents, grandparents, or yourself at home on a stove, that these particular pieces of equipment and processes, we can help you do it on a little bigger scale, and we share with you that knowledge of a safer product, food processing, and the steps to learn on how to use these equipment.
And that is such a key to the whole success of this project. It is really community centered. How does that kind of play out here?
This particular cannery is not designed around the incubator style or entrepreneur style. It's really more community canning, more family canning, so that if you were to bring in a bushel of tomatoes and you wanted to make salsa, if you did not know how, the appointment's required, but they would communicate with you, these are the jars you're going to need, these are the ingredients you're going to need. And that community outreach and that community building, I think, has never left the cannery, our Junhenko, and it's part of our foundation and part of our goals and our future.
And I know that you have some of the crops, or you have an orchard, you have traditional white corn. If you could talk a little bit about some of the things that the community is doing here and when they are using the cannery.
One of the foundations, again, that centers around our Junhenko program is the white corn. It's a traditional staple. It's not only part of our traditions, our culture for the Oneida tribe, it actually has its origins in the creation story that is part of our culture and part of our people. So what we're looking to do is that when that's grown at the Junhenko agricultural site, it's provided here to the cannery, and they make it into these over 9 different products, from soups, from flours, different breads, corn mush. It's sharing that stuff. So it's not necessarily just so that we make it. We're really hoping to extend that knowledge out to our community members and encourage them to plant white corn if they wish. The Oneida Tribe of Wisconsin is very fortunate to have an apple orchard. Those apple products can be processed here, and that can be made into the applesauce, apple chips, cinnamon apple chips, apple bites. It's looking at those products that are available that we can do locally.
Now when I look around at some of the really nice pieces of equipment that you have here that are available for your community members and as an educational component.
The advantages of finding equipment that can work for you, a commercial dehydrator that can replace 20 different small scale dehydrators that you'd fill up time after time, looking for processing, whether it be a self-contained kettle or steam jacketed kettle. The washing machines that are used here that's actually a corn washing machine. So instead of doing it by hand over a sink in a small container, by following these practices, looking for equipment and then making it adapt, it's such an advantage. And then looking what's out there and making the adaptations to what's going to help us, what's going to help our community.
And it's a great facility here. I was saying before, a number of the kitchens that I visited are community-based kitchens. They're not set up for open use by entrepreneurs. That you don't do custom processing. There's things that are very specific to this facility, but some of the times people in your own community aren't necessarily as aware of this wonderful tool that you have. So it's always a level of education that we're looking at.
We are open, not necessarily from an entrepreneur level, but we've been very beneficial working with yourself, with Farmers Market Kitchen, with others who are working in this. And so whether they're entrepreneurs, our conversations probably lean more towards those community kitchens, but we want to learn as well as share. So we've had communications. We invite anyone that if they have questions, they can contact my office and we can see where we can go. It takes some time, but I would stress, don't stop. Even when you face those hurdles and even when we fall and trip, is just find those people that can help you stand back up and pursue things. And maybe it's not always at the scale that we'd love to be at, but we're growing, and that's something I feel we're doing with now.
Another nice component of your project here is that you're also tied to some of the high school programs and some of your school children. I think there's that opportunity too to be working with your youth and building for the future. Well, thank you very much. I've been here before and I will be back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.